Today, we are diving deep into a massive 90 billion euro plan from the EU for Ukraine. Now, this isn't just another aid package. It's a financial move so big and so cleverly designed, some are calling it a fundamental turning point in the entire war. So, let's break down exactly what's going on.
90 billion euros. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's about 97 billion US dollars. But, this story isn't really just about the number of zeros. It's about the timing, the structure, and the incredibly powerful message it sends to both Kyiv and Moscow.
Now, that is a huge claim from our source material. And in this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly why this 90 billion euro loan is being seen as way more than just financial aid. It's being called a strategic masterstroke that could genuinely reshape the entire conflict.
So why? Why is this specific moment being called so defining? Well, to really get it, you first have to understand the absolutely immense financial pressure that Ukraine is under right now.
The problem is pretty stark when you look at the numbers. By 2026, Ukraine is looking at expenses of almost 114 billion euros, but its revenues are just under 69 billion. That leaves a massive hole in their budget, about 45 billion euros. And it's mostly because the country has no choice but to pour a staggering 27% of its entire GDP into defense. And this is where Russia's strategy really comes into play. You see, when a quick military victory didn't happen, the plan shifted. It became a war of attrition. But not just on the battlefield. The new focus was on Ukraine's entire economy. The endgame was simple: bankrupt the country and hope it collapses from the inside out.
And that is exactly what this EU package is designed to stop dead in its tracks. It isn't just support, it's a direct financial lifeline, specifically engineered to completely derail Russia's strategy of economic exhaustion. So, how's it going to work?
All right, so the 90 billion is split into two big buckets. The lion's share, 2/3 of it, or 60 billion euros, is earmarked specifically for military assistance. We're talking weapons, ammunition, the whole shebang. The other third, 30 billion, is direct budget support to literally help keep the lights on in Ukraine, funding essentials like hospitals and schools. Now that military funding, it comes with some important rules. The plan is designed to prioritize buying weapons from Ukrainian and European companies first. Why? To help boost their own defense industries. But, and this is a really crucial exception, if a weapon system is needed and it just isn't available in Europe in time, then Ukraine gets the green light to buy it from other countries, like the US or the UK.
Okay, so we've got the loan, we've got the breakdown. But this is where the plan goes from just being helpful to being truly clever. This isn't just any loan. It's a really sophisticated legal machine with a major twist when it comes to who's going to foot the bill.
The whole package is set up as what's called a debt-neutral loan. Now, what that means for Ukraine is, basically, it's a loan with zero interest. And get this, they are not on the hook to pay back the principal. The entire thing is built around the idea that a third party is going to cover the cost. And that third party is Russia.
Let's walk through this, because it's pretty ingenious. Step 1. The EU goes out and borrows the money on the world's capital markets. Step 2. It hands that money over to Ukraine. Step 3. After the war ends, the loan is supposed to be paid back using war reparations that Russia will owe to Ukraine. But here's the real kicker, the fail-safe, Step 4. If those reparations don't come through, the EU has legally given itself the right to use frozen Russian assets that are sitting in EU banks to pay off the debt.
So, just how much muscle does that failsafe have? Well, a lot. Right now, there are 210 billion euros worth of Russian central bank assets completely frozen inside the European Union. That is more than double the entire amount of this loan, which gives the EU an incredibly powerful guarantee that its loan will get repaid one way or another by Russia.
Of course, a plan this huge and this game-changing doesn't just happen overnight. There's some fine print to read, and there are a few final hurdles to clear before it's a 100% done deal.
So, what's left on the checklist? Well, the loan still needs one last formal sign-off from the European Council, which pretty much everyone expects it to get. But more importantly, the money is conditional. Ukraine has to keep pushing forward on its crucial democratic and anti-corruption reforms. The political will to get this done, though, is clearly there. I mean, the plan already sailed through the EU Parliament with overwhelming support. So when you put it all together, the sheer scale of the funding, this wild repayment mechanism, the political conditions, it really does signal a fundamental shift in the long-term trajectory of this war. The plan sends two completely opposite messages. For the EU and its allies, it's a powerful signal of unwavering, long-term commitment to Ukraine's survival and its future. For Russia, well, it's seen as nothing short of robbery, with President Putin vowing to retaliate for what he calls the theft of his country's assets.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The big takeaway here, according to our source material, is that this financial strategy fundamentally transforms the conflict. It pushes it beyond a simple war of grinding attrition on the battlefield and turns it into a war of economic endurance, a battle that the EU, with its colossal economy, is now positioning Ukraine to win.
Which leaves us with that one final critical question. The mechanism is in place, the money is there, and the strategic goal couldn't be clearer. But will this unprecedented financial maneuver truly go down in history as the war's defining moment?